Welcome to the 700 Club. Pressure is mounting on Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, and that pressure is both at home and abroad. And this is after Hamas murdered 6 hostages over the weekend. Massive protests in Israel called on the government to do all it can to free the remaining hostages.
Well, meanwhile, thousands attended a service for slain American-Israeli hostage Hersh Goldberg-Polin. CBN Middle East correspondent Julie Stahl reports.
Thousands of Israelis streamed to Hersh's funeral in grief and disbelief that he's now gone. Hersh's mother, Rachel Goldberg-Polin, said she and her family were convinced her son would come home alive.
For 23 years, I was privileged to have the most stunning honor to be Hersh's mama. I'll take it and say thank you. I just wish it had been for longer.
Hersh's father also shared his grief, but a hope as well.
For 330 days, Mama and I sought the proverbial stone that we could turn over to save you. Maybe, just maybe, your death is the stone, the fuel that will bring home the remaining 101 hostages.
Hersh and 5 other Israelis were murdered as Israeli soldiers were getting closer to freeing them. Hamas began releasing last messages of the 6 murdered hostages and suggested they will kill hostages Israel tries to rescue by force. Monday, President Biden blamed Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu for not doing enough to get a ceasefire deal to free the remaining hostages.
Mr. President, do you think it's time for Prime Minister Netanyahu to do more on this issue? Do you think he's doing enough?
No.
Netanyahu apologized to the families of the hostages that the rescue mission didn't succeed.
I told the families, and I repeat again tonight, I ask you for your forgiveness that we were not able to bring them back alive. We were close, but we didn't succeed.
But strongly criticized President Biden for his remarks.
They murdered 6 of our hostages in cold blood. So after this horrible murder, I don't believe that someone serious would come and say, now make more concessions. You're not serious. Hamas is serious. I can't believe this happened.
The deaths of the hostages sparked massive countrywide protests over the 11-month saga and calls for the government to do more to bring them home. Strikes called to force a hostage deal largely fizzled Monday, and a court ruled them illegal. Many demonstrators are angry Israel won't agree to a ceasefire that frees the hostages, no matter the cost.
The time has come to stand and to wake up, to do everything for the hostages to come back alive.
Others who turned out to support the government say those protests are helping Hamas and harm Israel.
The thing that they are doing now is destroying the unity of the people of Israel.
Julie Stahl, CBN News, Jerusalem.
It's like justice has been turned on its head. Here, Hamas murdered all 6 of them. And they did it because the IDF was close. They were close to setting them free. But they were murdered in a tunnel. And then you have calls for the government of Israel to do even more to achieve a ceasefire. That means releasing more terrorists who are currently in jail in Israel. That means giving guarantees to Sinwar that the IDF will not kill him, that he will bodily be saved and will be able to leave Gaza. It means that Hamas will stay in control of Gaza. All of that is, in my view, completely unacceptable. Now, here's a question for our own President Biden. You've got U.S. citizens in captivity in Gaza. One of these 6 who was murdered, U.S. citizen. And you're going to say Benjamin Netanyahu is not doing enough. I challenge you, what are you doing to set the U.S. captives free?